The Stoics were ancient philosophers who believed in living a life of wisdom, courage, and self-control. One of their most interesting ideas was their belief in fate. They thought that everything in life was already decided, like a story written in advance. But this did not mean they gave up or did nothing. Instead, they believed in accepting what they could not change and focusing on what they could control, their own actions and thoughts. To understand why the Stoics believed in fate, we must first look at their view of the world. The Stoics saw the universe as a perfectly ordered place. They believed everything was connected, like a giant web. Every event, no matter how small, had a purpose. Nothing happened by chance. Even something as simple as a leaf falling from a tree had a reason. The Stoics called this the logos, which means the rational order of the universe. They believed that the universe was governed by reason, and this reason was like a divine plan. Because of this belief, the Stoics thought that everything that happened was meant to be. If something bad happened, it was not random. It was part of a greater plan. They did not see fate as a cruel force, but as a wise one. They trusted that even suffering had a purpose. This belief gave them strength in difficult times. Instead of complaining or resisting, they learned to accept what happened and find meaning in it. But how did this belief in fate fit with free will? If everything was already decided, did people have any choice at all? The Stoics had a clever answer. They believed that while external events were fated, like sickness, wealth, or even death, their own reactions were not. They could choose how to respond. A Stoic might lose his money, but he could choose not to be upset by it. He might face an insult, but he could choose not to be angry. In this way, the Stoics found freedom within fate. They could not control the world, but they could control themselves. One famous Stoic, Epictetus, was born a slave. His life was hard, but he did not let his circumstances defeat him. Instead, he focused on what he could control, his mind. He said, "It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This was the heart of Stoic philosophy. Fate decided many things, but a person's character and choices were their own. Another great Stoic, Marcus Aurelius, was a Roman emperor. Even with great power, he understood that many things were beyond his control. Wars, plagues, and betrayals happened, but he reminded himself to stay calm and do his duty. He wrote in his journal, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." The Stoics believed that accepting fate led to peace. If a person fought against reality, they would suffer. But if they accepted it, they could live with wisdom and calm. Imagine a dog tied to a cart. If the dog resists and pulls against the rope, it will be dragged painfully. But if it follows willingly, the journey is smooth. The Stoics saw humans the same way. Life would move forward whether they liked it or not. The wise choice was to move with it, not against it. But did this mean the Stoics were passive? Did they just sit back and let life happen? No, they believed in taking action where they could. If a storm destroyed a man's house, he could not stop the storm, but he could rebuild. If a loved one died, he could not bring them back, but he could honor their memory. The Stoics were not lazy. They were realistic. They knew the difference between what could be changed and what could not. This is why the Stoics believed in fate. Not to take away freedom, but to give deeper strength. By accepting what they could not change, they saved their energy for what truly mattered, living with virtue. They did not fear misfortune because they trusted in the wisdom of the universe. They did not waste time on anger or regret because they knew some things were beyond their power. Instead, they focused on being good, brave, and just, no matter what life brought. In the end, the Stoic view of fate was not about giving up. It was about finding peace in the midst of chaos. It was about trusting that even suffering had meaning. And most of all, it was about realizing that true freedom comes from mastering oneself. The world might be fated, but the soul remains unbroken. That was the Stoic way. And perhaps it is still a wise way to live today.